Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and we are going to be continuing on with the Dash Arcana Spotlight series, while Cecil decides to serenade you with his song. Except when I'm looking at him. You know what you did. So today, we are going to be so we did Bubble Blast, obviously. That didn't go so well. So next up is Frostwing, which is a very simple dash with a very simple premise. You throw feathers behind you, they do damage, and they freeze opponents. That's it. But I oftentimes find that sometimes simple is best. And the very idea behind this one is that it's very literally a retreating get off me, and it's wonderful, and I love it. Now, it's not always incredibly effective, but for what it's worth, so long as it gets even one enemy off your back, it's doing its job. So, for purposes of today, we're going to put together a rather balanced build. We're going to use the Hope Robe. We're probably not going to take Tomo's paws in this case, or claws of Tomo. Whatever, Tomo's claws, who cares? I think my starting relic of choice. You know, for right now, let's just put that on. It might not be my starting relic of choice, but let's see what sounds good. So, with this, I think we're going to start with Bolt Rail. We got that. Then we should take something a little bit sweepy, a little bit control-y. I know that's not a word, but I don't think anyone is going to complain too loudly. Just looking over my options. What haven't I used in a while that could be a lot of fun? Hammer of Atlas. That sounds like fun. And lastly, we need a signature. And there's so many good options for signatures. Now, obviously, the idea is that if you've got something like Frost Fan to help cover you, you can afford to use something a little bit slower but stronger. So maybe Chaotic Buster, maybe Blazing Lariat, although I don't tend to have many problems with Blazing Lariat. Maybe Splodin Fireball. Crashing Meteor is better for mooks, so not too worried about that. Or something a little bit closer range, like Gust Volley comes to mind. I really like Gust Volley. You know what? I think this looks good. Do I want to use this as my starting relic, though? I mean, it usually works out just fine, but sometimes it's nice to start with something different or to have a different thought process in mind. Also, actually, we are doing classics again. Yep, because I am going to be starting with the retro floor plan, let's grab the Curse Eater's Mask and we'll just see what we get along the way. Alright, grab ourselves some cash. I'm gonna take a risk. This did not work out well for me last time, but last time I had a dash that wasn't helping out very much. So let's see what happens. Okay, at least he's first. I didn't even have to plan it this time. Though Shu is number 3. And yes, you can dash out of Hammer of Atlas after you started casting it. So it won't interrupt my combos much because I can always cancel it. I'd say that's a good thing. Okay, give me this. I may want Flame Breath because that'll be effective against Shu. It doesn't leave me much that's effective against Zeal, though. I will have to think about that because I could always grab Hammer of Atlas. Not Hammer of Atlas. Yeah, I can grab what I already have. No, but I can grab Flame Breath and then either Glacial Cross or Frost Fan. But that might be stretching my finances a little far. Which unfortunately is a phrase I have to use all too often in real life. Oh, but there's so many good things here too. Okay, well, for starters, we grab that. Then we'll go back for the Cartographer's Quill later. So the Frost Fan actually, first of all, it travels in a reliable direction, unlike Bubble Blast. So you always have a pretty good idea of what it's going to do. Secondly, it hits for a decent amount of damage. Not like crazy super amounts of damage, but definitely good damage. Like, it's a respectable amount of damage that scales well with damage up relics. Well, damage up relics and effects in general, honestly. Oops. Threw it the wrong direction. That was an oopsie on my part. And then, of course, the idea that it sends out multiple feathers behind you that freeze enemies. It really is just a nice solid option. It's not something you're necessarily going to build combos around, but it is something that you're going to grab to try to help yourself out of a jam. Just to have something that's literally going to watch your back, or that you can use to. I know I said it wasn't a combo piece, but you can use it for combos. Because you can obviously throw it out behind you, and then just let the feathers do what they're gonna do. And Cecil is being nuts. Then, of course, what you just noticed there is that you can use it to start combos by dashing through the enemy and letting the feathers come up behind you and clip them. Like, it's not something that you necessarily want to use all the time, but it is an option. It's generally an option better reserved for singular targets, but it is something that you have access to, you know, just in other scenarios. In case you're wondering why I complain about Earth Knights so much, that's why. Hello, Taffy. No thanks. Actually, wait a minute. Oh my god, when it's upgraded, it creates 3/4 of a square. It's actually kind of neat. That, however, was not neat. The nitroglycerin barrels can kiss my ass. Alright, so that's an interesting control method that I can add to the list. Just keep close-range enemies at bay. I'm hoping everyone is having a wonderful day today. I've been having a questionable day. By that I mean I had another near sleepless night, and I've been questioning a few things about my current life situation, and I'm definitely thinking that something has to change. Because if my anxiety is keeping me from sleeping, then something's wrong. And Cecil is just happy to be here. He has no idea what's going on. Hey, there's our upgrade. So it will now release 6 feathers, and it also has a slightly more acute arc, so it can hit things that are a little bit closer to me now, which I can very much appreciate. Alright, let's be fair, I'm probably not going to keep Shockwire very much longer, but it is neat to actually see it in action. I use it very infrequently. Alright, I'm not gonna change my basic, although it's not necessarily a horrible idea. I just kind of like what I have. Whatever. It's not gonna hurt to have. Let's see, I don't really think I want any of these. Tell you what, I'll grab Lay's drum just as a nice little defensive option. Alright. That's right, I just used your hammer against you. What of it? Alright, my gameplay is a little iffy right now. Now here's hoping that... hoping I can pull it together. I just took a nice long nap on the couch, so I mean, on one hand, yeah, I could be doing better. On the other hand, I did just sleep. At least a little bit. hello. Definitely want that. Definitely want that. And yeah, we'll use the teleporter this time because I'm trying to be smarter. Smart me. Now, so, you'll oftentimes see that Frostfan isn't hitting more than sometimes doing much more than hitting one enemy. But if it's hitting even one enemy, to me it's doing its job. The problem that you're noticing right now is that I am not playing well. And yes, that could be very much a symptom of having only slept 3 hours or less last night. Or in fact, I would expect it's very much a symptom of that. There we go. I mean, also getting my attention distracted by an overly excited bird is not helping. Okay, so... build is definitely lacking something. I couldn't tell you precisely what, but it's definitely lacking something. I don't think anything here is going to help that, though. Well, maybe one thing. I missed. Alright, so overall, the run is a little iffy. Some of the Arcana that we've been getting are, although not horrible, not the most helpful things in the world. And even though I've been singing the praises of Frostwing, I keep saying Frostfan, so oops. I will go ahead and spill one thing that I do find a little disappointing about it, and that's that it doesn't hit directly behind you. So if you want to hit something that's giving you problems, you either have to dash at an angle or hope that it's coming at you from an odd direction. So that's one thing that I will say about Frostwing that I don't find to be entirely enjoyable, is that I have to attack at weird angles. And okay, cheat potions. Not gonna complain about cheat potions. I would hope not to have to use too many cheat potions, but I'm glad they're cheap. I am glad that they are, you know, by all accounts, every country other than America's healthcare system. I know I've said that before, but I mean, what can I say? I look at how healthcare works in every other country in the world, and it's just, why can't we follow the example of a country that makes sense? Just for like one person's sanity, can we please do something that makes sense? By the way, speaking of not making sense, opening the fight with Hammer of Atlas probably seemed like a horrible move, and in hindsight, it wasn't great. But the thing about Hammer of Atlas is that it does block projectiles. So... and it hits all around you for a decent amount of time. Hey, my unbirthday present. How did you know? Alright, give me that. And... do I want to keep using Earthen Aegis? I don't know. Probably not. I don't have a problem with Earthen Aegis, but this build is not designed to take advantage of it. Grab that. The other issue that I have with Frost Fan is that, or not, I keep calling it Frost Fan. Yeah. You know, the other issue I have with Frost Wing is that the feathers don't pierce. So if you're noticing me having a decent amount of trouble, it's probably because the dash is, again, only doing so much. But this time, it's mostly because of the retro floor plan and not because of anything else. Ole. I think for this fight, I'll just stick with Dragon Dive. Oh my goodness, they actively avoided her. So I guess what it boils down to is, do I like Frostwing? Yes. Do I have to admit to the idea that it's probably not very good? I'm going to say no. Because it's not bad in every situation. What you're noticing is that its usefulness is limited in the environment that I'm playing in. If you're not having to deal with the retro floor plan, it works out much better than this. But if you are playing with the added difficulty, then it can be a little questionable at times. It also suffers from the usual problems of dash Arcanas that only get a single charge. And that is that, for one, its cooldowns are going to seem a good deal longer than they should, just because there's a lot of time in which you don't have access to your dash. That creates trouble. You know what? Let's go ahead and let him grab Dragon Surge. And we'll see if we get something good for Shu. Something nice and fiery. Something unlike what you're offering me. Nocturne, I am disappointed. This is what I mean. Anytime I do that gesture where I just dash away at an angle, I'm trying to hit them with the Frost Wing, but yeah, when you only get one use of it, and the odd angles that it flies at make it hard to hit with, it becomes more of an exercise in frustration than I would like to admit, because I do like this one. But my liking it does not change the idea that its usefulness is limited by the idea that the angles that it flies at are just awkward. And as much as I don't want to admit it, what does that create? We all know the word already. Inconsistency. And even though I am trying to go to bat for Frostwing, I have to stay true to my own ideals. And also opening that fight with Hammer of Atlas was not a good idea. Nothing fiery here either. I like Bubble Slaps, but I already have the Crystalline Ballestra. But I also have some stuff that's... I also noticed I haven't seen Nox at all. So taking the Curse Eater's Mask was a really stupid idea. I will take this over the Ballestra, because I at least have something that's adding critical hit. Do I build? Oh, sorry about that. Hey, did I mention that I'm really tired right now? I don't know if I brought that up already, I just, you know, transparency. Right, we challenge the boss. The boss is one of you guys. No thanks. I do not want that. Alright, Frostfan did more or less what I wanted it to there. But of course, now we have to see the opposite end of that coin and what happens when there's a combat arena immediately on the other side of a pit. Pit still being something that still being a design choice that I don't entirely agree with. Like, I understand the point. They wanted to make sure that there was a gameplay element that was keeping you engaged. But part of the gameplay element that keeps you engaged is also the thing that is attached to one of your more significant spells, and it just makes things more difficult than they need to be. Yeah, whatever, it's just fun at this point. Just to see numbers go up. So while Cecil sings me the song of his people, I am trying to, you know, I was going to see if Iris had anything to offer that would be helpful. She did not. This does not surprise me. We actually got to see Ice Wing do something. And then we just get to see me get my ass pushed into a corner and get my shit stomped in. Okay, it's two of those same combat arenas in a row. And of course we have to engage this combat arena without the Ice Wing because of the pit. See, it's just a design choice that I don't understand. And it's especially problematic for these dashes that are actually really effective but only get one charge. And part of the problem is that I'm not sure Frostwing is necessarily super effective. I mean, I want it to be, don't make any mistake about that. There you go, it actually got the killing blow there. There is noise going on behind me, but I don't know what it is. I mean, aside from bird, I know what bird noises are. There we go. If I had to guess as to what those noises were, and I have no doubt of what they are, my buddy just came home from a movie. I'll ask him about it later. Actually, it seems like it was a little long for it to be a movie, so maybe there's something else of potentially more importance. I don't know. Either way, I look forward to hearing what's going on. But right now, we've got a Master of the Magic Council to mess up. I still maintain that so long as Frostwing hits at least one thing, it's doing its job. But it doesn't change the fact that Frostwing can still be really temperamental and difficult to use just because of how it was designed. I mean, there's really nothing here I want. No spells there I want to take. I'm sorry, but with this build, I really don't feel comfortable doing Phase 3. surprised I was able to dodge that. Owie. There we go. Actually did this one. So, real quick, every time I made that little slip and said Frost Fan instead of Frostwing, I'm pretty sure I was actually stating which Arcana I'd rather be using. I want to defend Frost Fan, but after the performance I had today, I really get the feeling that it's definitely worse than I gave it credit for. Like, honestly, I wish it had done more. There's just a few little design decisions that I would have definitely changed up with it. Make it so that the ice feathers have a piercing property. Make it so that there's at least one feather that comes directly behind you. Like, either of those things would have been good. So, just my 2 cents. Were I to rate this one just with my feelings at the moment, better than Bubble Blast, worse than I expected. Maybe, I don't know, C grade? That's just my thought. You guys let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Stalk me on social media if you want. Of course, I'm always happy to have you guys here supporting me. It really makes a world of difference. I appreciate you coming to spend some of your free time with me. And I look forward to seeing you next time. You guys have a wonderful day or night wherever you may happen to be. My name is Darksage Walker, and you guys take care.